As you might be aware from my earlier video, Nintendo have released their fiscal year earnings report for the previous financial year, which is posting some pretty impressive numbers for Nintendo in terms of hardware and software sales. Looking more in detail into the software then, just wanted to share basically the top 10 best-selling Nintendo Switch games at this point as of the 31st of March 2020, so basically the top games in terms of the first 3 years of the system's lifespan. I think I'll clarify at this point though, it is 3 years and just under a month, because there is one game on the list that basically wouldn't have made the cut had it just been 3 years, but that extra month basically gets it into the list. And as I already mentioned, I did make another video today about the earnings and a little bit more detail about how well Nintendo have actually done, so click on the card on your screen right now to check that out, and you can see how much they have actually sold in the last year. And like I said, in terms of the Nintendo Switch and the games for it, it is very, very impressive for Nintendo, very positive for the future. And if you want to learn more about Nintendo going forward when the news does break, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like, as that does support the channel massively. And with that, let's get on with the video. So this will be only a short video, but basically the top 10 best-selling Nintendo Switch games as of the 31st of March are, and I'm going to do this in reverse order just so that you have a little bit of a climax when it comes to the top. Starting at number 10 then, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, obviously a support from the Wii U, and that sold 6.6 million, so I guess it sort of clarifies why Nintendo port this game over and why they do port games over in general, because they are selling. So 6.6 million units of that game puts that into number 10. In number 9 then, we've got Super Mario Party, with a little bit of a jump to 10.10 million units, so obviously the Super Mario Party series has returned with a bang here and has done very well for Nintendo, so expect to see another one of them come into the system. I would even suggest maybe within the next 2 years, so yeah, look out for that. Number 8 then is the second entry in the Splatoon series, Splatoon 2, with 10.13 million. So again, this is a new franchise that launched on the Wii U. Obviously the Wii U did struggle to sell consoles, and it's reached a bigger audience on the Switch and obviously remained popular and has sold more on the Switch than the Wii U. Bearing in mind the Wii U only sold about, like 16 million consoles? Something around that earlier. I did mention the actual number in my video from earlier today, so check that out. I feel like now's a good time to point out as well, the two games I've already mentioned. So you've got New Super Mario Bros. U, which obviously was the original version on the Wii U, actually sold 5.8 million on the Wii U, so it's sold more as a port on the Nintendo Switch in less time, so obviously definitely been beneficial for Nintendo. If you added the games together, then that's over 11 million sales for that game. And as for Splatoon 2, I know it is a sequel, but it is quite similar to Splatoon 1, but yeah, I know it's a sequel, but yeah, if you add those two sales together, you get over 15 million copies of that game. So Splatoon 2 is basically double the sales of Splatoon 1, which was the launch of the game, but that is obviously going to be because that was on the Wii U with less audience, and now it's got a bigger audience, it is still doing well, so expect to see more from that franchise in the future as well. Moving on with the list, we got number 7, which is a new entry, Animal Crossing New Horizons, obviously only launched in March this year, already on 11.77 million, and if latest figures are to believe, this over 13 at this point, so onwards and upwards for Animal Crossing. It's actually supposedly been the biggest launch sort of period game for any game on the Nintendo Switch, so it's been the most successful within the launch period, which for an Animal Crossing game that is very, very surprising. But when you sort of add it to the fact that everyone's at home at the moment, everyone wants a Switch, and how well a Switch is selling, maybe not so surprising, and it is a very good game. Number 6 then is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Let's Go Eevee with 11.97 million, so considering this is a spin-off Pokemon game, just under 12 million is definitely a good result for Nintendo. And then following that immediately at number 5 is Pokemon Sword and Shield with 17.37 million. And again, in my previous video from today, I do go into detail about the fact that that is actually a higher number than any entry in the Pokemon franchise on the 3DS, so again, another successful entry for Nintendo. Number 4 is Super Mario Odyssey with 17.41 million. So another solid outing from Mario, and is again another big hitter for Nintendo. A very fun game to play. If you haven't got that, I would say pick it up already. Number 3 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So we really need to say much about this game. I mean, it was like Game of the Year when it came out. It's generally considered to be one of the best Zelda games of all time, if not the best Zelda game of all time. So yeah, something on top of this as well as worth pointing out, I think, is that It didn't make the top 10 of best-selling Wii U games. Bear in mind, they'll obviously launched on the same day that Nintendo Switch launched. So, okay, fair enough, everyone's probably bought a Nintendo Switch and bought Zelda with that. But you'd think some people that maybe were late adopters might have picked it up enough so that it would have got on the list. Because bear in mind, the 10th entry on that list is 2.23 million. So it didn't sell that much on the Nintendo Wii U. So for those collectors out there, if you have a copy of it on the Wii U, it's probably going to be worth something in the future, I would imagine. Just remember back to Twilight Princess GameCube/Wii, and the GameCube version is definitely worth more. At least it was until it got remade. So yeah, Zelda is 17.41 million. Moving on to number 2, you've got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 18.84 million. Not really a surprise to me. Super Smash Bros. Is one of the best series on the Switch and on Nintendo consoles in general, and it does kind of include everyone in this. So you could be a fan of, you know, Zelda, of Mario, of Pokemon, and they're all in this game. Whether you like fighting games or not is a different question, but yeah, solid game. Smash Bros. For Wii U sold 5.37, so the next installment on that, which obviously built largely off the basis of that game, and it's nearly 4 times more units have been sold. Just shows the power of having a successful console compared to one that's really not selling that much. But then at the same time, it also shows how some of the better games on the Wii U were basically in nearly everyone's household, or at least every other Wii Switch owner did have a copy of some of them. And last but not least then, at number 1 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which everyone who owns a Nintendo system gets Mario Kart. Is kind of like an unwritten rule, let's be honest. About 24.77 million. Disclaimer, I know that's not technically everyone, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's going to be the top game, probably very likely for the rest of the Switch's life, and potentially for most Nintendo consoles is kind of a similar theme. And I'll back that up by saying Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U sold 8.45 million, so again it was the most popular game there. If you add them together, you get about 33 million worth of Mario Kart 8 that's been sold, so well done Nintendo, I guess. So that's pretty much it then. That's the top best selling games on the Nintendo Switch as of the 31st of March 2020. Some interesting results there, and some interesting games that have not made the list, and the one I would say is the most standout to me is the fact that new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe has made the list at number 10 over Super Mario Maker 2. Now I know new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe has been out for longer, but I feel like Super Mario Maker 2 does offer more. But I guess if you just want to play the games, it's just easier to pick up Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe because the levels are there and you've got to play through it like a traditional game if you're not into the whole creating and sharing stuff. And I guess for a younger audience, like if you're buying a game for your children, then that's probably the one that you would pick up. But yeah, just one observation I've made from this. If you enjoyed that, then please leave a like on the video as it helps support the channel. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this top 10 list, if there's anything that's missing from this list, anything standing out that should be there. If you're shocked at any of the entries, let me know in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel for more Nintendo news and gaming news in general. There's 2 videos on the screen right now. One of them will be the most recent upload, which as of today will be the one I uploaded earlier on, and the other one will be recommended for you by YouTube, so check them out and I shall see you in the next video.